Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of Daily Betslip. We got Major League Baseball on the slate today, as we start to gear up
like
for
every
the
day.
Gonna be honest, as much as I love betting on Major League Baseball, I could use some football in my life, which we will have. Actually, we will be talking a little football on this show. We'll be talking Pac-12 or Pac-12 season preview. We're also going to talk game of the night, which is, surprise, surprise, a baseball game. It is the New York Mets against the Atlanta Braves, and also, as always, community picks, our best bets. And I do have a golf best bet to switch things up a little bit. But to start things off, Reed, we are going to, as always, talk about bad beat of the night. And last night we were both on the same side, and it was a bad beat. Tell us about it.
Yeah, Diamondbacks, Giants, Diamondbacks, small road underdogs, like plus 105, plus 110. Did my little quick hit video. Was, Merrill Kelly, my guy. He showed up, 7 innings, shutout baseball. Diamondbacks go up 1-0. I fell asleep. I was like, I don't feel like safe, but I was tired, so I went to sleep. Wake up, 2-1 Giants win. I check the box score, see up 2 outs, a triple, and then a Brandon Crawford walk-off home run. Second Giants walk-off homer this week. So yeah, that sucks. That was miserable. 2-out walk-off homer doesn't get much worse than that in baseball.
Yeah, I was trashing the Diamondbacks all season. I finally start to decide to bet on the Diamondbacks in back-to-back nights and lost both of them. So will I back the Diamondbacks for a third straight night tonight? I don't know. Stay tuned. Maybe not. But yeah, that was not always do we have a bad beat that one of us had the night before, but I think this might be the first time that both hosts of the show suffer the same bad beat the night before. It's a tough one.
Yeah, especially when it's like 1-0. Diamondbacks, I think Christian Walker had a homer in the 4th inning, and it was just trying to wait this game out, just trying to get to the end, and they basically did. They got 26 outs, and all they needed was one more, and they couldn't get done. So Merrill Kelly should just pitch the whole game next time. Find a way.
Brutal. If you're watching this on Twitter, head over to YouTube. Let us know your best bets for tonight. We do have a few submissions we are going to get through. Or if you have any other questions, let us know. Like and subscribe and all that good stuff. And then, of course, there is the poll, which should be up on YouTube. And I think it is still up live a little bit longer on Twitter. The community poll for tonight's game of the night between the Mets and the Braves. We'll dive into that at the end of the show because we do have a Mets fan here with us, and Reed, and also myself, who I've kind of like the Mets. I've been to like 4 or 5 of their games so far this season. So, yeah, we'll get into that game there at the end of the show, but we will dive into our best bets for tonight, starting with community picks. So if we can go ahead and bring up the first one for tonight. Atlanta team total under 3 runs. This comes in from Sean Mitchelson at DeSoxFan24. This is a plus money too, plus 104. Scherzer has given up 8 total runs in his last 8 starts. 14 innings pitched versus Atlanta and only 1 earned run. Scherzer and Diaz will get the job done. That is actually an interesting point as well, because Edwin Diaz, their closer, hasn't gotten any action in a few days as well. So if they need him tonight, he will be available. Obviously, one of the best, if not the best closer in Major League Baseball this season as well. So Braves team total under. Reed, any thoughts on that? Because I know this is game of the night, so we'll talk about it more later. But any initial thoughts on that pick?
Yeah, and Scherzer hasn't missed a beat since that injury. And it's funny to think Andy Alcantara is now this runaway Cy Young favorite. If Max Scherzer didn't get hurt, he would be right there with him. And Scherzer's been absolutely locked down this entire season. So he had a ton of success against Atlanta just last week. So I hate the look, especially getting plus money. I imagine like under 3 minus 130 or something. So a little risky, but push factor. I like the plus money though.
Yeah, Scherzer 1.93 ERA heading into tonight's start. So let's go ahead and bring up the second best bet for tonight. I think one of these, it might be this next one. It is this one. This game has started. He says this is from tweets from Jay at Climbs Ladder. Orioles, Jays are broken. Once again, everyone, if they could just get off my Blue Jays back, that would be much appreciated. I think these takes about my Blue Jays are rude. And guess what? Scoreless, bottom of the 7th. What a barn burner of a game this is. Bottom of the 7th, 1 out. Jays do have a runner on first base though, so we might be about to take the lead. So he's on the Orioles. Jays are broken. I disagree. Little slump. I'm not going to be like Yankees fans and claim that the world is burning just because my baseball team's on a little bit of a slump in a 162
That's New
game
York
season.
Sports, man. That's how it works here. You go on one little skid. It's all the sky is falling. That's what it is. I wish, the Blue Jays weren't in a slump at the same time as the Yankees because they could maybe make up some ground on them, not run them down the whole way, but make this a little interesting. What are the Yankees still like 9.5 going into today or something like that?
Yeah, I think it's something like that. I did claim, I think it's almost a month ago now, that the Blue Jays were going to catch the Yankees in the AL East by August 29th. And if the Blue Jays...
The opportunity was actually there, though.
The opportunity was there.
They've lost 7 of 8. They're under 500 since the end of June, I think. I mean,
they've lost,
the Jays, you were kind of right.
They've lost 11 of their last 13.
Yeah,
they're a dumpster fire right now, but just the Jays are a dumpster fire too, so they're not gaining any ground. If the Jays have been playing good baseball, it'd be like a 4 or 5 run deficit game deficit right now. So
yeah.
And I made a video this morning, Reed. I don't know if you were around last night, if you were in New York last night, but I was in Brooklyn and I could hear the boos from Yankees fans all the way from the Bronx. I don't know if you heard those boos.
I live like a few miles away. I heard like the faint boos. I heard like it came across, the wind was blowing in. So, I heard a little bit. I mean, Yankees offense is a dumpster fire. Well, I have a take on that game, so I'll save some more game opinions for later.
Yes, good call. We'll talk about that game a little bit more when we break down your pick. Let's go ahead and go with the next community pick for tonight. I believe this is the last one as well. 3-team parlay, Mets, Padres, and Dodgers. Mets, obviously the Braves. We'll talk about that game in a little bit. The Dodgers taking on the Brewers. I like that play quite a bit tonight. With the Dodgers, I mean, obviously, I believe they're sizable favorites. I don't have the odds in front of me.
Yeah, like minus 170.
Yeah, minus 170. So if you're going to toss a team in the parlay, that makes sense. The Padres game has already started. I believe that is in the top of the third. And that leg of your parlay is looking good, my friend, because the Padres are up 5-1 early in the top of the third. So obviously not over yet. But you should be in good position to cash at least one leg of that parlay. You got 2 more to go. And that comes from @LuckyHands10-1.
Shout out Lucky Hands.
Shout out. I think that's it for community picks today. I believe we had just the 3. So let's go ahead and dive into our best bets for tonight. I have 2 Major League Baseball and then 1 a golf 2-ball bet for tomorrow, which I'm putting multiple units on. I am betting irresponsibly on it tomorrow because I love it. I think it's the most obvious bet I've placed maybe in 2022. So stay tuned for that. But you have 3 Major League Baseball. So why don't you start off? Give me your first MLB bet for tonight.
Yeah, first play, we're going to go Cardinals-Rockies over 7. This opened 8, and it's been getting bet down. Not too sure why. Cardinals look great at the dish, and German Marquez has a 5.07 ERA this season. I get he pitched at Coors Field, but even when he goes on the road, he still has a high 4 ERA. This Cardinals offense is fantastic. Obviously, you got Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado. 6th in weighted runs created plus this season, and top 10 in home runs. I mean, this team is absolutely dynamite at the dish. And Jordan Montgomery got traded from the Yankees, and I thought he was in poor form. Gets traded to St. Louis. The lefty has actually been pitching great. 2 shutout efforts since getting traded over 11 innings. But this Rockies team, number 1 in batting average against left-handed pitching this year. So I think the Rockies are going to be able to do some damage as well. Rockies also have the second worst bullpen in terms of ERA this season. So, I just think over 7, this is a low total. I just think opened 8 again, bet down a full run. So, yeah, I'll take a stab at the Rockies over.
I have a pick for this game as well, so I'll get into that right now because a lot of the points are similar to the ones that you made there, but I do disagree on a couple of points. I'm going to take the Cardinals to win big here. I'm going to take the Cardinals on the run line at even money. Big point, I mean, you did mention it there with the Rockies, 29th, and not only in bullpen ERA, but road bullpen ERA, so they can't blame Coors Field on that. Even when they're away from Coors Field, they absolutely stink. And I think it's time to buy some stock in this Cardinals team dating back to July 1st, 4th in OPS. Only the Astros, Braves, and Dodgers have a better OPS since the beginning of last month. And just like you just brought up Jordan Montgomery. I'm going to actually say a good thing about Jordan Montgomery because we're seeing this now with a couple different players that once you leave the toxic organization of the New York Yankees, you get a lot better. We're seeing it with Joey Gallo. All of a sudden, his pop is coming back in his bat. Jordan Montgomery, 0 earned runs in his first 11 combined innings pitched for the Cardinals. that Yankees team is just a toxic franchise. It's a toxic environment. The fan base is toxic. And when you go there as a player, you're bound to play bad. So he's out of that situation. I'll back him in the Cardinals tonight. -1.5 at even money.
How about Cardinals win 8-0?
Perfect. Then we both win.
Yeah.
Or
easy.
I'll take a 6-4 win. I'll take that.
Sure. 6-4. Fine with me. Yeah, no, again, you made a good point though about Coors Field and stuff. And that's why I looked at Marquez and I know he has the high ERA, but it does get a little bit better. So he does have a little bit Coors Field effect in him, but it's not like he goes from a high ERA to a fantastic ERA. He's goes from really bad to just bad. So I'm not necessarily deterred by that. And yeah, I think the Cardinals do win. I just look for the over because that one kind of stunk to me, only 7. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, his ERA, I think it's a little over 4 when you look at just his road splits as well. So slightly better than at home, but still certainly nothing to write home about. So there we go. We both got plays for that game. You're on the over, and I'm on the Cardinals run line. Give me your second best bet for tonight. I believe it is another over bet.
Yeah, we're big Wednesday at the plate for everyone. We're gonna go Dodgers Brewers over 8. Tony Gonsolin, Ian, I know you wrote up a few weeks ago, maybe a stealth Cy Young candidate. Well, he's starting to come back to earth a little bit. I've been waiting for this, and I see this trend heading there. Still has a 2.24 ERA, so it seems great, but a FIP of 3.46. This guy's been getting by all season long, and we're starting to see that ERA creep up. The 2.02 before the break. That's now above 3 since the All-Star break. So still good, but he's heading the wrong direction. And he's starting to let up a lot more home runs. And the Brewers are cracking right now, tied for 9th in the MLB in home runs since the start of August. And Christian Yelich just hit a huge bomb last night. Maybe that sparks this Brewers offense that won in extra innings. And the Dodgers, top 10 in batting average against lefties. I mean, can't say enough about this lineup. They're facing Eric Lauer as an ERA in the 4s. To me, over 8. I think we see the offense kind of bust out here. And again, 8 seems a little bit low, and I think we're looking at Dodgers win, but the Brewers are able to plate a few runs against Gonsolin.
Yeah, I cursed Gonsolin with that article about a month and a half ago, unfortunately. Come back down to earth a little bit, but I also like that pick because Gonsolin is a right-handed pitcher, and I talked about this when I was talking about this game, or the match between these two teams on Monday. Brewers against lefties, one of the worst OPS in the majors. I think like 27th or 28th in OPS, all the way up to number 2 in the majors in OPS when taking on right-handed pitchers. So in terms of the righty-lefty splits, favorable matchup for the Brewers bats as well. So I do like that overplay tonight.
Yeah, what do you got? Another one.
I alluded to it at the start of the show. I'm going back to the Diamondbacks. I'll go ahead and take the Diamondbacks. I will die on the hill of the Diamondbacks. I mean, come on. Two nights in a row, they've broken my heart. Let's try it one more time because I do think they are a better team than the Giants are right now, at least offensively, even with these bad 2 back-to-back offensive performances. Still 11th in OPS dating back to July 1st. The Giants still 20th during that time span. Obviously, Carlos Rodon gets the start for the Giants tonight, which is why they're such heavy favorites, but I actually think they're being overvalued with Carlos Rodon on the mound, especially considering he's had 2 starts against the Diamondbacks already this season, and he got lit up in both of them. The Diamondbacks scored 5 earned runs against him in a 7-3 victory back on July 26th, and then 4 earned runs in an 8-3 victory against Rodon and the Giants back on July 4th. So he's given up combined 9 runs in his 2 starts against them this season. So obviously the Diamondbacks know how to hit his pitches. I'll die on the hill. It's plus 185. Yeah, no. It's a big underdog.
I'm totally with you.
Sunk cost fallacy. I've lost too much money on them now. I'm just going to keep riding them until they win.
I did the preview for this game over on BetSided, and I took the over because I wasn't necessarily thrilled about backing the Diamondbacks again at this big price. But Rodon has been trending in the wrong direction since the All-Star break. So I don't hate this look at all, especially at this big a price. Giants, like I said, 2 walk-off homers this past week. So is this team kind of flying a little bit too high? And, at a big price like this, I don't hate it. And like you said, part of the reason why I backed the Diamondbacks last night was the 2 offenses are very similar. Both like just outside the top 10, right around the top 10 in weighted runs created plus batting average. So I don't see much difference here. And I don't know if Rodon is going to be able to hold up his end of the bargain long enough to hold off this Diamondbacks offense.
Yep, I agree. And I do have to say, I see Cody Wells has submitted a pick there in the chat. It is for tonight's game of the night, so I'm going to save that until we talk about the game of the night. at the end of the show. So, Cody, I see your pick. We will get to it when we talk Mets Braves tonight. But, Reed, you have one more MLB pick. Hit me with it.
Yeah, let's go for the sweep here. Tampa Bay. I don't think they play tomorrow. Maybe they do. But 3 in a row. Tampa Bay, Rays against the Yankees. Corey Kluber, interesting statistical profile this year, but one thing he does do is shut down the Yankees. 2 starts against New York this year, 12 innings, only 1 earned run. On the year is a 4.40 ERA, but a 3.44 FIP. So kind of been some bad luck. Kluber, I think he's been decent this entire season, like his numbers indicate. And the Yankees starting Domingo Germán, 4.18 ERA. His FIP, though, is above 5. He is clearly the worst pitcher in this Yankees rotation. And the Yankees can't hit. I know, and listen, give me 1 second to talk about Aaron Judge, the MVP here. I understand he's probably going to win. I get it. I understand. But we're starting to see, though, what happens when the lineup starts to fall apart. Judge isn't holding up his end of the bargain. Again, I'm not saying he's terrible or anything, but over 4 last night. He's starting to slow up a little bit because got Josh Donaldson batting behind him, who's a joke. I mean, Rizzo isn't hitting right now. Stanton's still out. It's just this Yankees offense is starting to show how shallow it is, and it's starting to affect Judge's play and the entire team. So this Yankees team right now, can't bet on them. I bet against them on Monday. I didn't last night. I should have, but we're going to get back on them now. I like Kluber as an underdog against the Yankees, especially with Germán, who, I mean, is just terrible.
Yeah, like I said, I made a video earlier this morning. I'm on that pick. I put that pick out this morning, so we're both on this play. Fade is these bunch of bums of the New York Yankees. And not only does Rays pitcher, you just said his name,
Corey Kluber.
Not only does Kluber have a good ERA against him this season, throughout his career, he's been always solid against the Yankees. 11 starts, I think it's like a 2.21 ERA, something around that. So, yeah, I mean, I need to see the Yankees get back into form before I even consider betting on them. I will fade them at plus money, especially against good teams like the Rays. So, yeah, I like it. Give me the Rays plus money there. Cody does chime in the chat. I was talking earlier about how the Blue Jays were about to score right after we read the guy's pick saying take the Orioles. And look at that, the Blue Jays up 3-0 right now in the bottom of the 7th. Still have, if my screen is right here, still have runners on the corners with only 1 out. So they're about to build on that lead too, if my screen is up to date here. So Blue Jays, we're back, baby. We're back. Maybe not by August 29th, but if the Yankees keep stumbling, we're going to give them a little run here by the end of the season. All right, I got my final pick. It is a golf 2-ball bet. So usually give out 3-ball bets for these tournaments, but because there's only 70 golfers in the field, they're putting them out in pairings instead of threesomes. And I have one tomorrow that I will say I put multiple units on. I'm not going to say how many units, but I can say it's more than 1 and it's more than 2. This might be the most confident play I have bet in the year 2022. Now, obviously, bet responsibly. Don't tail me just because I'm saying this with a ton of money. But this seems like an absolute no-brainer. Now, with me being this confident in it, what you should probably do is bet the opposite, to be completely honest.
I'm riding with you.
Let's go.
I am in on this bet, so I want to hear it now. You've hyped it up.
I am taking Will Zalatoris, who, by the way, no big deal. Me and him are best friends. Minus 110 against the number 1 ranked golfer in the world, Scottie Scheffler, just in round 1. So this is a round 1 2-ball bet, a matchup between the two of them just for Thursday. Minus 110 odds makes absolutely no sense to me. How is this a pick'em? Will Zalatoris fired his caddy 2 weeks ago. His new caddy immediately led him to a victory. His putting is better than it's ever been. His irons are even better than what they've ever been, and he's probably the best iron player golfer in the world. And now he's taking on Scottie Scheffler, who, geez, talk about 2 golfers trending in the complete opposite direction. Scottie Scheffler missed the cut last week. He's lost strokes putting, I think, in like 6 of his 8 starts or something like that since winning the Masters. He is trending in the complete wrong direction. We saw him get angry last week, which I've never seen from Scottie Scheffler. He punched his putter. He punched his putter. That's always a weird move. So he's trending in the complete wrong direction, and he's taking on Will Zalatoris, who I think is going to win again this week. I think he might go back to back. And I did see a tweet. I don't know if this was a confirmed quote or a fake tweet, so take that for what it's worth. But Zalatoris might have been overheard saying that if there was a course built to perfection to his style of play, it's Wilmington Country Club where they're playing this week. This is the first time we're ever seeing an event at this course, so we don't really know what it's like, but apparently it's long and apparently it's difficult. And I know those are the courses that Zalatoris shines at. So minus 110 for him to beat Scotty Scheffler, who's been all out of sorts recently.
Yeah, I mean,
seems easy.
Yeah, too easy. But
too easy, which is probably why it's not going to hit.
So Wilmington, is that Wilmington, North Carolina? Or you don't know?
No, I think it's Delaware.
Oh, Wilmington, because I was going to say, why did I think, no, because North Carolina, maybe, I don't know, because Will Zalatoris went to Wake Forest, right? So if it's Wilmington, North Carolina, then that checks out that he would know that course because he's probably played it a bunch of times when he was playing at Wake Forest. I don't know North Carolina geography, but that.
No, it's Delaware.
Okay, so forget everything I just said, but
there is one in North Carolina as well, yes, but this course is in Delaware, unfortunately.
No, but I like the play, and I obviously don't cap golf as much as you, so I'm just going to blindly ride you. But seems like Scotty Scheffler. I mean, listen, talk about a dumb move, but punching your putter. What did he punch? Like he literally wound up and punched. I guess.
No, he's more like a slap. Like he gave his putter a hard slap, and he was overheard saying to his caddy that he just doesn't have it. Like he's
all right. He doesn't have it. Great. Just make sure you play.
The game of golf comes and goes, and when you 100%. Lose it, it's hard to get it back. And he has certainly lost it last week. It's one of the worst performances I've seen him. And I tweeted it out early in the week. Since winning the Masters, he has lost strokes putting in 7 of his 9 starts since then.
That's crazy.
And last week, in true strokes gained putting, he lost 1.85, his worst performance of the season by far. So, not good. Not good, Scotty Scheffler. Not good.
Yeah.
So there you have it. Those are our best bets of the night. Obviously, we have more picks coming up at the end of the show when we talk game of the night, Mets and Braves. But why don't we go ahead and bring up the recap graphic for our first 3 picks each, 6 picks total. Excuse me, our Cardinals run line, even money against the Rockies. We got the D-backs back on them again, plus 185 against the Giants. And then little 2-ball action for round 1 of the BMW Championship, taking Will Zalatoris, minus 110 against Scotty Scheffler. And Reed, you were looking at the over 7 between Cardinals and Rockies, the over 8 between the Dodgers and the Brewers, and a little underdog bet in the Rays, which we are both on. Rays plus 118 against the New York Stinkies. How about that for a nickname? You like that one? The J. I guess that's the classic one, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, let's talk. Let's switch gears and talk a little football here. Let's talk college football. I'm going to lean on you for this one. I'm more of an NFL guy. Reed, you were certainly college football, or at least our college football expert. So let's talk Pac-12. I believe on the show in the past, I was here for 1 or 2 of them, but I think we've gone through 4 of the 5 power conferences. We have the last one to go. Pac-12 football, Lincoln Riley now at USC. USC are the betting favorites to win the conference. Do you have faith that USC can get it done?
No, I don't. And so this is a team that obviously they poached Lincoln Riley. They got Caleb Williams. One of the most transfers, arguably, I think it might be the most transfers acquired in the portal this past year. And I just don't see it there. This defense is still going to be garbage. And while their schedule is very easy, if they're not on, and Caleb Williams isn't throwing darts left and right, and he's not putting up 45-plus points, they could lose to any team in the entire conference. And even in the group of 5, I mean, they have a matchup early in the season against Fresno State. Do not sleep on this one. Fresno State beat UCLA last year in California. They have one of the best quarterbacks in the group of 5 in Jake Haener. If USC isn't bringing their offense every single game, they're going to get beat by anybody in the country. That's how bad this defense is. And I get Lincoln Riley gives you the opportunity at some stability, and he's a great offensive mind, but it doesn't just happen like that, especially when you're throwing together this pseudo super team in college football. I mean, reports aren't that great at a camp. Already complaints about who's getting the ball, NIL deals, all that stuff. I saw a report today about that. So it doesn't seem like it's all easy peasy here in USC, and they're just going to roll to 10 wins and be a stealth college football playoff candidate. And win total is 9.5. So they have high expectations. And I just told you, Ian, they could lose to anybody. They are not prone. They are not goal. I mean, listen, they play Rice in week 1, so they'll beat them. But after that, they go to Stanford in week 2. Stanford's supposed to have a far superior offense, or far improved offense this year. So maybe Stanford could hang with them at the barn this year. And I mean, USC, I have them 3 coin flips this year. So the schedule is easy. They play Notre Dame at home and UCLA. And then they get at Utah. So let's say they lose 3 right there, which I think they can. You already lost your win total. You're done. You lost. You went under. So this is an easy under bet for me at 9.5. Again, I think they could lose to anybody. Fresno State is a team I will be betting on in week 3, I believe. I'll be betting on them at USC. Teams with an offense that could hum, they're going to be live to beat this USC team despite the easy schedule. So under 9.5 is an easy play for me there.
So if USC isn't going to win the Pac-12, who is?
It's going to be Utah, team that won it last year, made some money on them last year. I love Cameron Rising. People think he can win the Heisman. There's like a dark horse. He's like in the 50s to 1. I don't think that far, but I hold this Utah team in very high regard. Rising came in midseason last year, 20-5 touchdown interception ratio. Tavion Thomas rushed for over 1,000 yards, and the defense is just nails under Kyle Whittingham. This team opens at Florida. Not sure how I feel about that game just yet. Like, they could easily drop that one, but that doesn't affect the Pac-12 bet. This is a team I bet them way back when at 4-1. Nobody cares about that anymore because it doesn't exist. But at plus 250, I still like it, especially because there's no more divisions in the Pac-12 when it comes to determining who goes to the Pac-12 championship. It is the top 2 teams. So I look at Utah's schedule. They get USC at home. They do have to go to Oregon, but I don't see this team falling outside the top 2. I see them at worst being the number 2 team, and then they have to play likely Oregon or something in the Pac-12 championship. So I like Utah to at the very least get there, and I do rate them as the best team in the Pac-12. So I think that they are going to ultimately win the Conference of Champions.
So you mentioned Oregon there, another slated to be a good team in the Pac-12. You don't believe in USC, you believe in Utah, but what about a dark horse to win the conference?
Yep. So Oregon and Washington are the 2 other top teams. Oregon's in the plus 300 range. Washington's in the plus 1,000. Obviously shop around, but I'm looking a little bit further down the board. Washington State is an interesting team heading into the year. And while this could blow up in their face, I'm buying into it. I'm buying into the hype. They brought in Cameron Ward from Incarnate Word and their offensive coordinator. They're doing like the Bailey Zappi from Western Kentucky idea from last year, if you remember them. They basically imported an FCS team and are putting them in the Pac-12. Washington State, they have Oregon and Washington on their schedule, so they control their own destiny. If they are able to upset those teams, then yeah, they are in the driver's seat to go to the Pac-12 championship. Again, they play USC as well. So again, this is in their realm if they play to their high ceiling. Of course, they do have a revamped offensive line. They do have a first full year head coach. So this could go sideways, but they're in the 40 to 50 to 1 range. I think with Cameron Ward, it is worth a dart on them. I'm not saying throw the house, just some pizza money, because the ceiling is there for Washington State of Cameron Ward, who, I mean, I'm pretty sure he won the Walter Payton Award, which is like the Heisman of the FCS last year. Or he was a finalist for the award. So this kid could ball. I like him. I'll throw a shot on Washington State. I think that there's a ton of upside in Pullman this year.
Wazoo. Isn't that Washington State? Let's go.
That's Washington State. And also, just one more point. Oregon and Washington both have first-year head coaches. So if this goes, I just said Washington State also has a first-year head coach, but he closed out the year last year, and Washington State kind of closed on strong. They made a bowl game. So maybe he has a little bit of a leg up. And if Oregon and Washington, maybe they get off to a clunky start, they fall off the pace. Washington State is right there with the key games are at home. So they can maybe sneak into that Pac-12 championship as a long shot.
So fade USC, bet on Utah, and a little Washington State action if you're looking for a long shot dark horse there.
Yep.
All right, so that is the Pac-12 preview. I think that wraps up the Power 5 previews on Daily Betslip. College football season just around the corner, Reed. Very excited for that. But let's move back to baseball for the game of the night. New York Mets against the Atlanta Braves. This has been a battle in the NL East here for a while. The Braves almost caught the Mets, then fell off. Now they're on the verge of catching them again, only 3.5 games behind. They've beat them 2 games in a row. If they sweep the series, all of a sudden they're only 1.5 games back from the Mets. Reed, you are a noted Mets fan. You call yourself 99th percentile of it in the Nets fans. Are you in the 99th percentile of Mets fans?
I wouldn't say I'm 99th percentile, but I'm a big Mets fan. I would call myself, I keep my finger on the pulse. I was on my trip to Europe last week. I was waking up to check every single Mets score, see what's going on. And they were on a heater, so I'm a little nervous that I brought the bad vibes to the Mets back. So we'll see. But listen, the Braves have made their run. They're a damn good baseball team. My bigger concern is it's not that the Braves are better. It's that the Mets are getting banged up left and right now. Monday, Carlos Carrasco leaves with a oblique injury. Last night, Taijuan Walker leaves with back spasms. So Eduardo Escobar, he's on the IL now. Luis Guillorme is going to be out a month. So they just called up one of their number 2 prospect, Brett Beatty, at third base. So hopefully that gives a lift. But listen, the bullpen has actually been huge for the Mets, holding the line, have not taxed the bullpen too much. And now you got Scherzer and DeGrom. And I know it looks lopsided right now, but they dropped their first 2. If you get Scherzer and DeGrom here, they're able to put together some big outings and get some wins. All of a sudden, you're right back where you started. You split the series. That's all I wanted going into this one, a split. So it's still within the realm of possibility. Mets are favored tonight. They're definitely going to be favored tomorrow with DeGrom on the mound. So just go out and take care of business.
Yeah, you mentioned it. DeGrom on the mound tomorrow. Tonight is Max Scherzer going up against Jake Odorizzi. But speaking of Max Scherzer, why don't we go ahead and bring up Cody Wells' pick that he submitted into us earlier in the show, and we'll tackle that now. He says Scherzer over 18.5 outs recorded, -120. Scherzer to record a win at +100. So double dipping on Scherzer here. He says beat this inning number in 4 straight. Both times he faced Atlanta, he went 7 dominant innings. So Scherzer over 18.5 outs recorded, -120, and him for record the win at +100. Yeah, Scherzer. I mean, what? We're not going to sit here and claim that Scherzer is going to have a bad outing. I don't think so, Reed. Are we? I mean,
no.
Who's going to make that argument?
We were just saying that he's been absolutely nails all year, since before the injury, after the injury. He shut down the Braves last time out. I lost the game line, but I know he struck out 11. I mean, nobody shows up to big games like Max Scherzer, and I expect him to do just that. I'm more concerned about the Mets bats, though, showing up for Scherzer.
I do have a question about another Mets pitcher before we get into our picks here for the game. Edwin Diaz. Does he have the best walkout music in MLB history? Thoughts?
It's pretty funny because he's had that walkout song since he got to the Mets. That's like not a new thing. And now I guess because he's turned into the star they traded for, or they hope to trade for. So I guess that's why now it's getting such buzz. But yeah, it's absolutely electric. Every time he comes out of the stadium, every single person's up on their feet, like bopping to it. Like you got like Mr. and Mrs. Met come out. They do the trumpets too. It's absolutely hilarious. And he like jogs to the beat too. It's amazing. And now though, the Braves, William Contreras, his walkout song is Narcos. I don't know if that's always been his walkout song or they're doing that as like a troll to the Mets because everyone's talking about it. But last night as I was watching, I was definitely, like bopping to it a little bit. Like a little like.
It's a great song.
Yeah, it's a banger. But yes, he does have the best walkout song in baseball right now.
I don't want to get too off topic, but you just mentioned something that made me think of it. Mr. and Mrs. Met. I've been to a few Mets games now. Why do the Mets give Mrs. Met such a big butt? Not necessary for a mascot to have a big booty like that.
You are not the first person who has discussed that with me about the size of Mrs. Met's butt.
Not necessary to give a mascot that big of a booty.
Listen, it's what Mr.
Every
Met's
time I go to
into,
the
man.
Mets. Every time I go to the Mets game, I'm like, what's going on here, guys? Let's settle down.
Rated R.
Yeah. All right, let's get into our picks and go ahead and give us your best bet for tonight's Braves and Mets game.
Yeah, I'm going to go under. Kind of hinted at it with like the Scherzer talk and everything, but also the Mets lineup just isn't hitting right now. I'm a little nervous about this game just in terms of is it going to be like a brutal back-breaking like 2-1 loss where Scherzer deals, but the Mets can't back him up. Bats haven't been alive at all. Last night was one of the worst offensive performances I've seen from the Mets all season. They were shut up for the 6th time all year. Maybe they bounce back. I hope they bounce back, but I know Scherzer's going to go deep, and I know Scherzer's going to shove. So I like under. I lean Mets, but I don't want to lay it right now. So I'll stick under as my favorite play here.
And we are on opposite sides of this one, Reed. I'm going to go with the over. It's kind of tough to argue too much against the under, to be honest, especially with Edwin Diaz rested up and likely to go if they need him. But I just can't get past the offenses of both teams. I'm trying not to overreact to recent Mets offensive performances, especially this series, because if you look at since July 1st, these two teams are still 2nd and 6th in OPS, third and ninth in total runs scored. Braves are third in OPS at home. Mets seventh in OPS on the road. Mets bullpen 16th in bullpen ERA since July 1st. Now, I do know, obviously, like I mentioned, Edwin Diaz has been fantastic, and he's rested and good to go for tonight. But if they need someone to go in between Scherzer and Diaz, if Scherzer can't go too long tonight, that's going to be a potential weakness in the Mets tonight that the Braves might be able to exploit. And also, don't really believe in Jake Odorizzi here since he's signed with the Braves. In 8.1 innings since joining the Braves, he's allowed 14 hits, 4 walks, and 4 earned runs. So even though the earned runs isn't too high, 14 hits and only 8.1 innings, not good for Jake Odorizzi. So 7.5. I'm on the opposite side of you in this one. Going to go with the over.
Yeah, Mets bullpen actually held the line pretty good for them the past 2 games where they were kind of getting beat up a little bit to injuries. So I do think the Mets bullpen will be able, they'll have their top end guys. Can they hold on? Of course, it's a bullpen. Anyone can get blown up. So, but they will have their top end guys in there. But yeah, I mean, listen, I think the Mets are going to win a barn burner or something like, we'll call it 3-1. 3-1 Mets.
We'll see.
Wouldn't be good for you,
We'll
but
see.
it would be
No,
good for
it would
me.
not be good for me. You know who would be good for, though, is the community poll, because the results are in the BetSided community is backing the Mets at -150 on the money line tonight. So I am on the over. I will also bet on the Mets. Reed, you are on the under, and you will also now be betting on the Mets.
Oh, darn. Gotta bet on my team.
Side note update, Jay's now up 6-0 on the Orioles. So watch out, we back. We back, baby. All right, that does it for our show today. Tomorrow, Reed, I believe it is. Is it you tomorrow or no? Or no, I think it's Ben and Peter tomorrow.
I'm gonna be sweating my Will Zalatoris Scotty Scheffler matchup on my day off.
I have multiple units on it. I'm sweating already. Usually when I'm this confident in play and it blows up in my face.
What time are they teeing off?
Great question. Let me see if I can look that up really quick. But tomorrow it is Ben and Peter will be on the show tomorrow, and I believe the WNBA playoffs start tonight, so I'm sure they'll talk about some results from that. Quick research, and I can't find Will Zalatoris tee time, so I hope it's in the morning to get the bet over with. I will be driving to Canada. That's terrible. I don't want now. Now I'm going to be sweating all day too. I won't even be able to watch it too because I'm driving to Canada all day tomorrow. So I don't know. I guess I'll just have to get updates on my phone. There you have it. There's our show. Really quick, Reed. We're not going to be talking again. I know this wasn't in our outline here, but big UFC fight this weekend. Just super quick. We got 2 minutes here. Kamaru Usman, Leon Edwards. In 1 or 2 sentences, who do you think? Who are you back in UFC? And Reed has frozen as soon as I asked him about the UFC. It got to him too. We did the entire show. I got cocky. I try to add 2 minutes on the end, and Reed freezes. For what it's worth, I like Kamaru Usman. He's a huge favorite, but rematches, always bet on the guy who won the first fight. This is a rematch, I think 7-8 years in the making. But Reed, sure, check out his Twitter. I'm sure he'll have picks for this weekend's UFC card. The show is over. No need to bring Reed back. Thank you all for watching. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Be sure to tune in tomorrow when Ben and Peter are on here. 4 p.m. Eastern, an hour earlier tomorrow's show. Best luck with your bets tonight. Gambler bless. We'll see you next time.